Welcome back to the channel without a name, although I have decided on cooking with Yasser for now. Who knows? We need to be consistent with these names. And so today, quickly, we'll be making a breakfast for the elite that I kind of modified. It's yam balls, but it's cheesy yam balls. So let's get to it. We'll be using very simple ingredients that I've already put out. So we'll use any amount of beef you want, any amount of chicken thighs. I know last video I said I don't do chicken thighs, but I went to the shop and there was no chicken breast, so we're doing chicken thighs today. And make sure you get the top side beef because you want it tender, you don't want to struggle while chewing. And we're going to use 3 slices of yam, 2 tablespoons of 2 teaspoons of curry, ginger and garlic, and of course 2 cubes of an unknown seasoning of choice. So I've just washed my beef and the whole meat to be used. Basically, please make sure you wash your meat. You don't want any funny business in your stomach later. So I'll just quickly shred this however I want to, in tiny bits. You want them tiny so they can cook fast, and so they'll be easily molded when you want to mold your yam balls. You see how tender this is? That is why we have to get the top side beef. We don't want the rear end where all the muscles have been worked. There you have it, guys. My shredded beef. I mean, it's a bit thick, but it works. So we will move on to the chicken. As you can see, it's already shredded. So I again have cheated. I told the guy at the store to assist with the shredding. So I may not be doing much with the chicken. As I said, I will not be doing much with the chicken. I mean, just dice it instead, because we still want them in smaller bits, because we want to mince them at the end, the 2. So there you have it. The proteins are good to go. I mean, they're good to hop onto the fire till you're cooked. Also, we'll be adding an extra protein once these guys are cooked. I wouldn't mention it yet until it's time. It's not that special, but I will just keep it for later. So now for the beef and chicken, you want to add some water to boil it. Not too much water, just enough for the meat to swim in. Just enough for the meat to swim in. And then we'll season. Not too generously tonight, because we still want to add more flavor and spices to the yam at the end. So what you will do here is, now we're going to add the ginger, a teaspoon, and another teaspoon for the chicken. So a teaspoon, please. Do not go beyond that. You don't want it too spicy. And then a teaspoon of the curry, and then a teaspoon of the curry for the chicken as well. And garlic. By now, I think all of you know I love garlic. So you'll be seeing a lot of garlic and potatoes on this channel. So you will now add seasoning of choice. A single cube, please. Okay, so while these guys are cooking, we move on to the yam. So while the beef and chicken are cooking for roughly 7 to 10 minutes, of course we'll be checking to see if they're cooked on medium heat, by the way. We don't want it to burn. This is our yam, and as you can see, it is soaked because you don't want it to turn brown or become discolored and disgusting looking. So I'll check on the meat and then I'll start cutting the yam because we're going to boil it as well. And now the yam. So we won't be doing too much, just a simple slice and dicing. And of course we're gonna take out the nasty looking part. Yeah. We're gonna take out that part. Simple. The smaller it is, the faster it cooks, and the easier it is to mash. Oh yes, we are making mashed yam. I mean, how else do you think we're going to make the balls? Okay. Okay, so while still waiting for the chicken, I just checked now, it's almost done. We will turn the yam into a big pot because the more room we have, the easier it is for us to mash. So same case for the yam as well. Just fill it up. Okay, not fill it up, but make sure the water covers the yam to the top. So in my case, this turned out to be 2 cups, and we'll add a teaspoon of sugar, and a pinch of salt. The sugar is just to make the yam super soft to be easily mashed. my mistake. So I put it on the fire and I forgot to add the pinch of salt. We'll let that boil for 10 to 15 minutes, and also we won't just use our time. We have to check to see if it's soft. You never know. The type of yam depends on how fast it softens. So while our yam is boiling, I think it's almost done now, we will mince the beef and chicken, and then 3, I don't know if they're balls or pieces of Scotch bonnet, 3 of them, 3 pieces. We've got these guys, and I'm actually shocked this is moving faster than it always does. So let's get cutting. So now I'll check to see if the yam is soft enough. So if you fork it and it sinks deep, then you're good to go. Yeah, we still have some time to go. It's still too hard. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin. Yeah, I do not like cutting these guys. Pardon the technique. So we just want to cut them into tiny bits, almost till we can't see them. And the yam balls when we eat. There you have it, guys, the sliced and diced chopped bonnet. So now we're quickly going to go check the yam. I hope it softens now so we can let it cool before we mince the meat. So the same thing, we are going to fork the yam, and you see it goes in easily without stress. So we are good to go. I'll turn off the heat now, and then we'll drain it and let it cool. So as our yam cools, we will move to mincing the meat now. The reason of using two types of protein, okay, I said I'll tell you the third option. So basically we would have beef, chicken, and tuna. So when we deep fry each of them, the fun part of eating this is if you are lucky and you like beef, you pick the one with the beef. And if you're lucky and you pick the one with the chicken and you don't like it, I guess you're unlucky. That's the whole idea behind it. So let's get mincing. So here we are, minced chicken, minced beef. And for those of you who don't have grinders at home, you can easily get a store-bought minced meat or beef. Of course, it won't be as nice. Everything tastes better at home. So now with this done, I will just cut me some onions, mash my yam, get out my breadcrumbs and my tuna, and we can begin molding the cheesy yam balls. Oh, yes, and the cheese, of course. So I do not have a masher. I'm just going to use a perforated spoon and get to mashing. So we'll break them into bits first. Then we can use the side and do like so until it's fully mashed. So you can see how mashed it is. Almost pounded yam texture, not pounded yam because we're not making pounded yam. There's no soup for that. Sure, we'll make that and then transfer it onto another plate before we begin our molding phase. Oh yeah, and I will still cut the onions. I don't know why I keep forgetting about cutting the onions. I will get to that now. Okay. Gently place the yam. What's the yam? On this thing, the plate. So let's get that onion before I forget. Let's get it and slice it right now. And let's see if I can say onion in how many languages. So we have onion, we have basil. Wait. I've seen this one on that Indomie pack. Hey, onion. Okay, I have no idea, man, but I think I'll check it after this. I'll quickly look it up. And we have, I said basil, right? Oh, is that all I know? Okay, so anyways, peel this guy right off. And whenever this guy gives you trouble, I mean, I know it's wastage, but I'll still just take off the second layer. We don't want to use too much onions because we want to have them tiny and moldable. So just give me some minutes. Let me go wash off the onions. I'll be back. Clean onions, check. Now, I mean, it doesn't matter how beautifully you cut the onions, you still end up cutting them. Onions, finely chopped, diced, cut into small pieces, whatever the term is. They are just small. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, I think now you can see it. Yeah. So now we are going to move on to, we're going to get some dipping oil so that to act like a binding agent for the yam when I'm molding it. And the tuna, of course, is going to be here. Let's begin molding. Oh yeah, so I don't first formation. Yeah, I've prepared the plates. So now I'll just divide the yam into 3 so I can have a portion that will be involved with the chicken, and then one with the beef and one with the tuna. Yeah, I don't like sardine. Most people use sardine. Most people I know I personally prefer tuna. So now, just to make it easy to divide, I will put the chicken here, everything. And then I'll put the beef. And there you have it, every portion for its partner. And of course, I forgot to bring out the main guy, the cheese. Also, that totally depends on you. I personally prefer to use Swiss cheese because it melts, but mozzarella works too. And I'm using mozzarella, by the way, so it's a bit sticky instead of melty when we make it. So formation set, oil in the right place, veggies in the right place. So now we be nice, everyone gets an equal share. Yep, they all get an equal share. Then some onions here, and some here. Let the molding begin. Okay, so first, don't forget, you just dip it in oil, and then you begin to mix. You mix. If you don't see it mixing, you add more oil, but I think this is enough. Just dip the fingertips, that's all you need to do. So, tuna, chicken, and beef. No, beef and chicken. One of them. You see, it's already fun. You don't know what we are doing. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. So, pick one, mold it into a ball, then pick your cheese, generous amount, of course, because we didn't call it. I mean, I'm not calling it cheesy yam balls if you don't put enough cheese in it. So finger the yam ball and then dip it in. Then you mold. You see, so I'm sort of a perfectionist when I'm making this. It has to be fully round. Yeah. So there we go. A yam ball. Take some more. And you mold again. Round and round we go. Finger. Cheese in the mold. And we have reached the final part of the video. Okay, well, not the final part, the second act. The third act will be the frying, of course. But anyways, let me not waste your time. For this stage, we're using breadcrumbs, 1 seasoning cube of choice, a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 eggs, And oh yeah, I finally molded this guy. So basically we want to coat each of the balls in the breadcrumbs and the egg, of course. So I'll put this guy and this guy in, and then we'll begin the final stage of the molding. And also we are adding the black pepper to it to give it a bit of spiciness on the outside, because we already have some spiciness in the inside, so just from the outside. So many people do the wet hand, dry hand thing, but me, I find it faster to just use one hand to coat. So let's begin. 1 yam ball, a very generous dip. And we coat. Can you see that? Okay, then we'll continue. One yam ball, you coat, and return. You do the same thing over and over again. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, all coated. So what I'll do now is I'll refrigerate them for a few minutes and preheat my oil to around 190 degrees, and then we shall begin frying. Since I have no wire rack, I'll just use this guy and the tub itself for my deep frying. Well, those bubbles tell us it's time for the balls to take a dip. Now we'll just wait, because I've set the timer for the deep fryer to 20 minutes. Roughly between 10 to 15 minutes, it should be done. So we'll just keep checking occasionally for the brown coating. Once it's golden brown, we take them out and then the next batch go in. So we'll check once more. As you can see, it's beginning to brown. So we'll just increase it back to 190 for 2 minutes, because it's brown already. So for 2 minutes, and then we'll take them out. Okay, our 2 minutes are up. So now we'll take them out and put the next batch in. Would you look at that? Golden brown. Just exactly what we want. And these smell great. They smell too good. I hope yours smell amazing too. So now for the next batch, we'll still lower the heat of the oil. We don't want the next batch to get too soggy. So we'll lower the heat and in they go. In they go. So now we will check our next batch. Oh yes, this is what we want. So in they go, they join the others. And then of course we still lower our heat. Then the last batch goes in And voila, we are done, ladies and gentlemen. And now we'll take the final batch to dry them on the wire rack while, man, this is so golden, while the tea prepares itself. Just kidding, of course. Safety first, we turn off everything, allow the oil to cool. But while we do that, would you look at these, please? And as for our tea, we'll add a pot of cardamom and then a teaspoon of ground ginger. Personally, I'd prefer to use fresh ginger, but I mean, I already have ground ginger out, so why not? Now you let this boil for a minute, then you dunk in your tea bag of choice and some milk if you do. I don't like my tea with milk, so dunk it. Then we get our sugar now. So as promised, I said I'll bring you guys guests. Here are my guests now, and they're about to experiment with what the boy has made. So, Hella, Bismillah, help yourself out. And don't forget, before you start, our catchphrase is To Jama'a, Bismillah. So, To Jama'a, Bismillah, help yourself out.
To Jama'a, Bismillah.
So, how far? What do we taste? Then I've mixed yam balls with chicken, with fish, and oh wow, the cheesiness. Cheese and this thing, chicken and beef, yeah. So there's 3 proteins you gotta eat now. No, how far? I want to hear comments now. No senti, nothing. It makes sense? Yeah. Confirm. So guys, it makes sense. Make I watch up now. Peace. See you next week. No guests next week, by the way. Look at that cheesiness. Well, I for no chop yam balls for breakfast. Next one. Yeah.